All right. It looks like we are live for the 8th session of the Drunk 3PO Patreon Parliament. I am your host this week, Mr. Shellback TJC, and to this direction, we have Miss AFK Bard. And then on the other side of her is Miss Rosetta Allen. And the gentlemen in the courtside seats are Mr. Final Death Star and Mr. Angelus Draven. Why don't you guys say hi, introduce yourself a little bit to somebody who may not know. Okay, then.
Whoa. Couldn't take it.
AFK just boop. Nope, I'm out. I'm not saying anything. No.
Screw this crap. Why am I here?
And
well.
Anyway, all right. Well, then Rosetta, you go.
What do you want me to say?
Just who you are and what you're doing or whatever, real quick.
Just a simple, I am Rosetta Allen, otherwise kind of known as the troublemaker of fandom to a lot of people. Currently working on a book of Eagle photos and color work for a comic and a million other projects, photography and stuff, so I'm basically always working.
Are you there, Finn?
I am. Sorry about that. I was looking at a text message on my phone. Go figure.
Oh, okay.
I'm here for the chat. So there you go.
All right. Draven?
I'm Angelus Draven. You might see me in chats a lot. And I do the gaming side of stuff. I've been doing streamings on Final Fantasy VII Remake lately. And pretty much anything gaming related that catches my interest, I will play. So,
and final, I am not really J.J. Abrams' Death Star.
I should just switch my name to that here. Yeah. Gosh, I'm never gonna go away with all of a sudden because of Giovanna. Now I'm just JJ's evil clone, or not.
I can't unsee it.
I know. I can't unsee it. It's me every time I look at myself.
Well, right
JJ,
now,
are you in my head?
Yeah. Right now, it's JJ's fuzzy-faced clone. Because
is it not clear?
He's usually I'm talking about your facial hair.
Yeah.
JJ's usually not. I don't think I've ever seen JJ with some facial hair.
I don't think it hasn't been this long. I think we had one picture that I think it was on John Talks where he did the comparison, and I think JJ had a little scruff there, but it wasn't. I don't think JJ got the genetic code for the beard that I got. So luckily, I got that gene, and he did not.
It's JJ in the last hour of the last movie.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Shell. Looking forward to talking about
appreciate
this
it.
book here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, you mean this book. Here.
Oh, that book.
Yeah.
This is the evil clone.
Yeah, not this. I don't know. So, like, have you had chance to read very much of it?
I've gotten through. Yeah, I think I've gotten through about. Let's see. I'm on page 55 or 6 now. So I've gotten through the first 50 so pages. We talk about this stuff every week, and I'm learning more and more, especially with like Gamergate, because that's kind of where the book, he opens up with Gamergate. Stephen Walton, by the way. Hail Stephen Walton. And
amazing.
Yeah, and so I'm learning a lot about the beginning, because when I jumped in, I kind of jumped in after Last Jedi, like a lot of people did, and was influenced by John Talks and Jeremy, from Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah.
They kind of influenced me to start a channel, just watching them, as well, thinking like, hey, I've got a lot to say about this too. Yeah. But I was kind of unaware of what was going on with Gamergate and Comicsgate. I mean, I'd heard things here and there because, I'm a gamer as well, so I kind of knew the little things going on, but I didn't know how far it reached and how it was really kind of Gamergate that started the whole, this whole sort of social justice movement. And I'd say the birth of the Fandom Menace was really started there, I guess. I mean, as far as I've learned so far, now maybe Comicsgate was happening at the same time. I don't know quite yet, or maybe you guys know, you can fill me in more, because I kind of came in during the Star Wars phase of it. So, but it's great. I mean, it's so well written. Anyway, we'll get into it later. But yes, my initial thoughts.
Well, I made, I don't know if I'd call it a mistake, but anyway, I was just, I read like, the little beginning part, where he's like, thank you to this person and that person and whatnot. And I started, like flipping through it, just taking in, the I don't know, what do you call it, the font or whatever, I don't know, just the look of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd see some pictures and stuff. Oh, okay, cool, and I'm flipping through, and then I get here, right, the chapter 7, and I see the picture of the guy that says punch Nazis. And I'm like, okay. And so like I was actually sitting in the car because I had just picked it up and started reading about that, and it's that particular section is talking about Mr. Jeremy Hambley from the Quartering.
Oh yeah,
and the little ordeal that he went through at a convention, and but yeah, I didn't go all the way through it. Maybe, I don't know, I'm a good what was it? About 8 pages or whatever. So not that far, but I just thought it was very interesting. How it's like, which that kind of ties into another of the points of discussion that I wrote down for this stream, is like I had a discussion with a couple of people on Twitter recently, and about how the Fandom Menace is a hate group, and this is, of course it's not news. Okay, it's not news. We've been, people have been spouting that for ever, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, I actually invited one gentleman on. I'm like, well, come on to the channel and back up these these claims of yours, And he's like, ultimately at the end, he's like, I'm not gonna waste my time coming onto your channel so you can defend the hateful actions of the people that are in your group, yada yada. And so, but he's like, but he was like, I was more than welcome to come on his channel, where he would be in the driver's seat and all, which I pointed that out to him, and he's like, no, he's like, that's not that's not why, but basically, that was his stance, well, if you want to come on to my channel, where I stream, at this time on Mondays, yada yada, and I don't know if I should mention the guy or not. I don't know with the way with the way YouTube and everything
Yeah, who
is
knows?
these days, you know. But
Everyone's getting. It seems like everyone's getting kind of temporarily shadow banned, or not, or either shadow banned in the chats, or their streams are being pulled down temporarily and then put back up. And, who knows?
But I mean, which there was like a couple of, for lack of a better term, troll type people that were like more than happy to come on to my channel and you know, tell me, you know, why like I'm part of a hate group and all this stuff, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, and one of them is definitely well known among us. He's got kind of a cheesy name, if that tells you anything. But yeah, I think I'm gonna, you know, I think I'm gonna have a pretty good time reading this book. I mean, what?
I'm probably gonna pick it up when I get paid, since it's on in demand right now. So probably pick it up then.
Yeah.
I would definitely highly recommend it.
What? So of the little bit that you've read, final, what's your impression?
Takeaways?
Yeah.
So I think I think one of the things that stood out is how this movement got started, basically, or at least in Gamergate, because I'll talk about that, because that's kind of that's what I've read so far. So, you know, this movement got started because of this girl who, you know, basically was virtue signaling about being a feminist, and she, behind her boyfriend's back, was sleeping with these critics and game maker. Well, no, she was a game maker. She was sleeping with critics in order to gain their favor, to have a good review about her game. All the while, you know, she's cheating on her boyfriend, and she's virtue signaling about feminism and how women are being suppressed, and, you know, but then she's going behind and doing this, the absolute thing that she should be apparently fighting against, you know. So that's how this kind of got started with Gamergate. And then as this started to come out and her boyfriend found out about this, I guess made a famous blog that chronicled this. I think it was called like the Zoe Chronicles or whatever, the girl's name. And then she started getting more popular from this, even though it was really her that was doing this, you know, kind of unethical type of behavior. And he was starting to get blamed for it. You know, she used it as an opportunity to show sexism in gaming, even though it's completely irrational, you know, and illogical to, I would think, most people. This became a trend, and then the media started, like other big publications, magazines, started backing her, turning against him, blaming him because, you know, he was a white guy and it was sexism and misogyny, all this stuff, which is just, when you read it, you know, it's crazy because it's the complete opposite. But these big publications got behind it and started to push this agenda. And, you know, there was a company that I was reading about here that started a fundraiser to try to promote female game makers. So they started this fundraiser, and she went after them because the fundraiser was like this. It was saying, you know, women are fantastic writers and can come up with great stories. So we're in a way to show fairness and to promote females inside the gaming community. We're going to start a fundraiser. We're going to have females, you know, write in with stories. And then we're going to make the game, get the artists to come up with storyboards, have the programmers come up with the game, and then they will get a proceeds, like 7 or 8%, I think it is, of whatever that game sells. They'll get a proceed for it. You know, that'll be like their reward, basically. And the game will get made, and not to mention their notoriety and, you know, it's for their resume, whatever else is attached to that. So that was kind of the deal. Well, this girl, you know, Zoe, I think her name's Zoe, right? Zoe Quinn, I believe it is. She went after this company and after their what they were trying to do and saying that it was sexist because you shouldn't expect women to work and not get paid for it. Even though this was like, supposed to be like a fun contest and they were getting proceeds, they're getting 7 or 8%. It wasn't, it was too much ridiculous for her to come up with that, to have that idea. So she went after them and basically almost got them shut down. So they almost lost this fundraiser. Another company came in and started backing them and put money forth, and got the thing through. So they were able to complete it. But I mean, it was almost shut down, and you just think that's so counterproductive. You have a apparent feminist who is trying to shut down this contest, which was supposed to be in favor of female creators, to push female creators to the forefront, to give them a chance where maybe they haven't had an equal chance, right? Equal footing. And you have this feminist shutting it down because she's saying it's not fair, so it just got both sides got more popular. And that kind of started this whole Gamergate movement, where Adam Baldwin, the actor, Hollywood actor, tweeted this out. I guess he was the one who kind of came up with the hashtag, from what I understand, so it's amazing what kind of started this whole thing. Now, everything I'm reading in this at the early stages, and we're talking 2008 to 2014 is kind of the time period that I'm reading about. This stuff, nothing has changed. It's only blown up on both sides. You've had the SJW side. Obviously, we all know where that's gone now, and we have the Fandom Menace side, and we all know how that's grown. So everything's just kind of elevated itself, but it's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing 15, some 10, 11, 12 years later that started with the Gamergate, It's just it's this like poison that's infected all of entertainment, and that's kind of where I am now. He's still talking about Gamergate, but he's starting to get into like the other ways this is starting to affect like our society. So yeah, that's my biggest takeaway, like the impact and how this thing started and how the media started getting behind this crazy idea. And he gets into a lot of documents that were written by specific groups too, on groups in Silicon Valley, where there were political motives behind each one of these movements. There were political motives to try to infect. It was intentional infection of the culture, with their politics. They viewed this as a way to get in and to basically, propaganda, I guess, propagandize the public by using mediums that were targeted to specific groups. But now by eliminating those specific groups, blaming them for things, getting them out of the way, trying to get other people that were like-minded in their, kind of version of reality, that would be a way to start pushing their agendas, through these. I mean, we've seen this all throughout history, really, especially with entertainment. But it's really gone to another level with the internet, the introduction of internet, social media, video games, and it's all chronicled right here. So get your copy.
And for those who may not know, Adam Baldwin is of no relation to the rest of them. Alec and all that.
Right.
He was Jane on Firefly, and then
he's the animal in Full Metal
the
Jacket,
Serenity movie,
and a couple other people too.
Yeah.
He was also a soldier in Independence Day.
Yeah, he's also in Chuck as well.
Oh yeah, Casey Jones.
Yep.
That's a fun one.
But I mean, I loved him in Firefly. I was so disappointed when that show got freaking canceled. But
yeah, that was a really good fan movement right there too.
Yeah, I was about
that's
to
like
say,
the pinnacle.
That's a kind of a like the current Snyder Cut thing. People were highly upset that their TV show got canceled, and they raised enough of a stink that Mr. Whedon was able to make a movie. So.
It happened again for Veronica Mars as well. When that show ended, Rob Thomas and all of the actors got together with the fans, and they got enough people to back them fan pack that they actually made a movie that they released. So, I mean, that's the power of fans. And it's funny because when those happened, those were considered amazingly great things. Nobody was saying anything negative about that when it happened. Everybody was just like, even people who didn't care about it was like, wow, really? The fans got that to happen? And then now somehow the narrative has just twisted where that's a horrible thing that would happen. And it's just like, wait, why? Why?
Speaking of horrible things, now I mean we can hop back and forth on subjects. It's fine, but it just
Sorry.
since you said that word, how does it make you guys feel? I mean, I don't know about everybody. If everybody here claims an affiliation with the Fandom Menace, but if you do, how do you feel? How do you feel being part of a hate group?
I personally don't think it's a hate group.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm in Comics Hate too, so they hate me all the way around the board.
Yeah.
Because
I think
I feel nothing but love and everything from everybody in this community. So the fact that we're being labeled as a hate group is ridiculous.
It's also hard to label someone as a hate group when you literally have every gender, race, color, creed, religion. I mean, we're like such a diverse community. Politics. I don't know how you're a hate group when you literally have every. So you have to hate everybody.
Don't forget the LGBT.
Yeah,
people too. We've got some of those.
We do. We have literally every sexual preference, religion, color, race, creed. I mean, we've got it all. Yet somehow, we were a hate group. I mean, it literally goes against logic. But that's what we're dealing with. Though.
Yeah.
This is supposedly this alt-right group that's anti-strong woman. I am sitting here as an ex-carpenter, as a disabled mixed-race woman.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been embraced by this community from the beginning.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're a perfect example of how that narrative just does not make sense and is not true at all in any way.
Well, maybe you're just not disabled enough.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Or mixed race
they say
enough.
I'm faking it. That's what the anti say. They say I'm faking it.
Yeah.
Because I really love having my back lock or having weird spasms or shit happen on air.
Right. And isn't that to you, isn't that insulting that they would say that you're faking it? I mean, how does that make you feel? That's terrible to do that. That's the tactics that they use.
I'm not on my channel, so I'm going to censor as much as I can to express this.
Yeah.
One moment. Because, you talk about gaslighting. I've had them literally come in and say, oh, you're just doing this so you can get views. You're just doing this for attention. You're just doing this so that they'll feel sorry for you and let you in the community. You're just doing this for...
Well, I tried to... I forget which stream it was, but I gave my friend the link that is like strongly against like everything that has been going on. And I'm like, we have differing opinions in the community and they're accepted and nobody talks bad about them and everything. And then like they came into the chat and they tried to make this claim that they were not accepting everybody's opinion, which was completely false because I'm watching the stream as it's happening. And it's like, you're wrong. Like, I don't understand how I can present this to you to make you understand, but you're wrong.
Well, it's just like I had one comment in the chat the other day and then pull it down when I was trying to screenshot that they were going to find and verify my medical past to prove I'm faking it. I'm sitting there going,
wow.
Bring that on because my records were at IHS. They've already documented that the tribe destroyed everything that was more than a few years old. So you ain't never going to find shit.
Desperate attempt.
Which I mean, since something like that is not probably not public record, right?
No, that would be medical records. Medical records on a sovereign nation because subscribe.
So did you thank them? Did you thank them for admitting to committing a crime before they did it?
Yeah, but it was also a very fake name, so who knows which one of our stalkers it was. It just shows how desperate they are, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you go away, honey?
Okay.
Not you. Shoot, husband.
Oh. Maybe he wants a sandwich.
You did make a sandwich once for him on stream. So
No, more than once I've done it on Memes of Destruction stream. I've done it 3 times on my stream. I have done it on Dark Gift Comics stream. I have titled on my freaking Twitter page in the bio as a savage sandwich wench.
it's funny.
So
Yeah. This towel that I have on the back of my chair is like, it depending on whether it's this side or the other side. Well, they've got the way they've got the picture is it's like if you have this thing like hanging on a towel rack, you can see either Leo or Donatello, or you can see Mikey and Raph. So the way I have it now, it's Leo and Donnie, but the way I have it, it looks like Leo's trying to Joe Biden me.
I'm not touching that comment with a 10-foot pole.
That's funny. What's your favorite turtle? Shell.
Man, a favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite. Like I really do like Leo, because the twin katanas and he's like, the basically the one that was put in charge or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when I was younger, although when the cartoon was out, I was probably already a teenager, when the cartoon came out, and I was and the first movie came out like a year after I graduated high school.
Is that 89 or 90?
It came out in 90. Yeah, I graduated high school in 89. Yeah. But anyway, it's still, he's still like emulated. Is emulated the right word? Of characteristics that I would like to have.
Mm-hmm.
Which especially now, I can see a bit of me in each and every one of them. Leo's the leader. Donnie is the like the tinkerer guy. The
kind of brains.
Yeah, and Mikey's the party dude.
Yeah, the fun
and
one.
And Raph, Raph is basically just the attitude.
Yeah.
But I probably had a more of a favorable leaning towards Leo and Donnie. But yeah, no, like I said, especially now, I can see a bit of me or whatever in each one of them, the aspect of them. But yeah, and oh god, and to think it's been 30 it's been 30 years since that first movie came out. Oh god.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Michelangelo has always been my favorite as a kid, and then because my real name is Mike, so you associate that as a kid, and you're like, yeah. And then growing up, as I'm older, Raphael is my favorite now because he's just an asshole. And,
Okay,
So yeah.
I don't know if AFK left on purpose. She might have, but looks like we get our new guy,
Oh, hey. And then
Mr. Sam Howard, has decided to join us.
What's up, you guys?
What's up, Sam? Hello.
Howdy.
But yeah, I'm new to the Drunk 3PO family, so I'm happy to be with you guys here.
Very nice.
Happy to have you, man. So what's your take on any and all of these subjects that we got here? I mean,
So when I first joined you guys,
have you got the book yet, or are you ordering it, or?
I haven't gotten the book yet, but I'm thinking about reading it at some point.
Didn't mean to cut you off there, but
It's all right. I haven't read the book yet, but I'm looking forward to reading it at some point when I've got the time.
yeah. So what made you become a patron of Jay?
Well, it actually really started with Geeks and Gamers because he's come on from time to time, especially with the Park Hoppin' YouTube channel. He does a lot of the Disney and Universal Studios coverage, and I really liked his personality. I liked hearing his take on the theme parks and on pop culture, and so I decided to check out his YouTube channel, and I really liked what I saw in there, and so I decided to drop in a few bucks and support him.
Right on. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how somebody that's a member of a hate group has raised so much money for children to have a roof over their head and go to school and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's incredibly charitable.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I'm a Patreon of his.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so am I.
Part of what always connected me to Drunk was the charity stuff and the work with kids, since I've worked so long in the inner city with kids and all this stuff. But it's also honestly before I actually got to the point where I actually started doing Patreon stuff is when last year I fell apart. Final should remember that because it was around the time I was having you guys help me fundraise for Drew.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the night I got off that stream with you, I went over to my stream and my back completely locked and I couldn't get to bed.
Oof.
And I had a complete mental breakdown on stream, and Drunk had his chat raid my stream trying to cheer me up. And then I go over to his stream to comment on it, and he's literally over there interrupting everybody's chatting to do this whole speeches to me to try and cheer me up and make me feel better from chat.
Yeah, he's a supportive guy all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when he pops up in your chat and starts making fun of everyone on the panel, it's done out of, which he does a lot. It's done out of love.
Oh, I troll everybody. We can do that. I really troll Jeremy. I treat him so badly, and yet he met up with me in person, spent hours with me, did all this stuff with me, and I've done nothing but troll him. I was there with him to his face, and I'm sitting there telling him that he dresses like his soccer mom. He looks like a basic bitch. He walks like a kid and stuff like that. And he's laughing. I'm saying this stuff, snapping pictures of it.
Yeah, well, see that again. That's another thing that defines us and differentiates us from other groups that wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, sense of humor, being able to joke about yourself, not taking everything so damn seriously. Yeah, exactly. You know, other groups can't do that. They get offended and they cancel culture, you know. But we roll with it. We know it's all in good fun, and like that's humanity.
Oh, the humanity.
Oh, the humanity.
That one GIF that you can find on Twitter with the manatee and like all the strobing rainbow colors. Sorry, it just kind of cracks me up. But anyway, yeah. I mean, since his name was mentioned, I officially dare him to pop in here since since the link is in the Patreon chat. But
Drunk, you are being summoned.
yeah.
Feel the alcohol in your system saying that you are being pulled a direction. And move your luscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the booze?
So the what?
Move that lushy butt.
So all right.
We
So
want
like
drunk.
the
We want drunk, and we want his booze.
I don't want booze. I don't drink.
so
Okay.
like the
More for me then.
so the topics, you know, that I put on here, of course, was this. The thing about the hate group comments and the CBR article that popped up on Twitter this morning about Captain America being or Steve Rogers, you know, volunteering whatever to go through what he went through to become Captain America, that it being selfish.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous.
Sounds like the writer.
Did they
was
watch
bitter
the movie? Like, the one thing that stands out above all is, like, that brought him into the fold was that he jumped on top of a grenade.
Yeah,
How is that selfish?
that's right.
Like, that's the heart of Steve Rogers, you know?
A selfless person.
I don't know about anybody else. Like I didn't read like the full. I didn't read the entire article. But I'd say I read at least half of it, and then I like kind of like skipped down to the bottom, and they tried to say like they it was kind of like it seemed kind of like a backhanded compliment, you know. They were like you know, yeah, you know, he kind of, you know, was selfish, you know, because, you know, he only saw like that one way that, you know, he could contribute or whatever, and so to him that was like the only way, and you know, instead of him accepting being a scrawny little runt, and
I was gonna say, man,
and you
that's
know,
selfish.
and just I don't know, like going to work in one of the factories, you know, making airplanes or tanks, you know, stuff like that, you know, like basically, you know, knowing his place, you know, knowing his place and just doing what he could
Okay.
as the, you know, the puny little Steve Rogers. And it's like, you know, how do you, and they what they said is, you know, that their take on it, the way they put it is, it makes him more complex and more human or whatever, you know. And it's like, I'm thinking it's Captain freaking America, you know. We don't want him to be Joe Schmo, freaking real guy, you know. I mean, I don't know about any of you, but like if that was a possibility, to I am hold on, pardon AFK, but the real quick, I'm gonna finish my thought before I bring this gentleman on. If it was actually possible for 5'6" me to become, I don't know, I'm just grabbing a number because I don't know what Captain America's actual stats were, but Oh, I'll just say.
He's like 6'3" or something.
I'll pick on Jay. I'll pick on Drunk 3PO. 6'4". If I could become 6'4", Shellback, and commence to whooping some ass. Yeah, I mean, put me in the chamber. But somebody trying to tell me that I'm selfish for doing that. No. Anyway, everybody, welcome the man, the myth, the legend.
Look,
There he is.
The author himself.
I needed to stop by real quick because Rosetta said, "What? Am I not disabled enough?" And I fell the fuck out. I just died laughing. Can we please get Scotty saying that? Because if Scotty said that, I'd mean the shit out of him. I love you, Rosetta. You have me dying. What? Am I not disabled enough? I was like, oh, Lord, I don't like this road. Where are we going with this road?
It's gotta be me.
No, look, because the first thing I thought was, oh my God, like I don't know you well enough to pick on you like that. But if that was Scott that said that, oh man, there'd be a clip up on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think that whole Steve Rogers situation is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh,
and to do it on Memorial Day, it's like, of all things, CBR, they're like the ultimate trollers. As soon as the whole thing with the Snyder Cut,
Why can't we just leave them alone? If they ain't broke, don't fix them.
Well, they even retcon stuff in Captain Marvel to undermine his movie too. So it's like
everything they can do.
Why? What's the point?
He's the ultimate symbol.
It's
of
on
American
the name of
white
feminism,
male.
to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Man,
To make her look superior.
they've been dealing with
It's a character that nobody wanted.
they've been dealing with a worried backlash ever since they started doing them Captain America movies, man. Remember that time everybody was afraid they were going to go with that storyline where he was actually Hydra? I mean, there was concern. There's been concern.
Yeah.
Man, SJWs hate Captain America because of what it represents. The past, like the best of the past. We're not perfect.
American ideology and
not perfect, but that ideology got us to where we were. Eventually, that ideology permeated so much that people from that generation and subsequent generations had a complete confliction of ideology. Well, if we're all supposed to be fighting for freedom and liberty and equality, then why are we keeping these groups down? That doesn't make sense. And so it might not have been perfect back then, but the idea of it, for all the way back to the time of the founding fathers, has been to get to where we've gotten. And SJWs don't respect that. They don't respect the past, and they need something to be oppressed by. But
we learn from our mistakes from the past as well.
I've got a really strong bitch hand. I can oppress them like a. Please, I'm really good for that.
Man, so look, some of them pay good money for that, Rosetta. You need to get on Twitch and start treating your simps the way they need to be treated. That's what you have.
Wait. Let's not talk about who does what porno.
No, you don't. Look, you don't even have to take any clothes off or nothing. They don't do that over there on Twitch. They just talk shit to their simps, and that, honey, that's your wheelhouse right there.
Line them
up.
Yeah, they don't play video games.
Eat a little bit of weed now and again. You're good. Just get over there and start talking shit. Make that money. I'm trying to get Lorena over there to make that money for us.
Like that one gal that's like, if you can be on Twitch, you can afford to send me like $10, and
she can afford to suck a fat one.
Well, I mean, that kind of ideology over there permeates. Now, because I have been investigating those things, not because I want to, just because we all need content. And I watch It's a Gundam. That whole thing that just went down with Gundam.
Oh, yeah, It's a Gundam.
Oh, my God. I love Gundam. But there is actually a thing on Twitch. Damn, I forget the terminology escapes me. But it's women whose channels are to do that, to talk down to men. That's their whole thing. So we need to get some of these strong, independent, not taking any shit Fandom Menace women And we need to put them on Twitch and start generating funds because they don't take shit. They will talk down to every SJW that comes on there. And they want that. This is how we can bridge the gap, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we can bridge the gap in the fandom. We get our Fandom Menace women to just degrade all of these SJW soy boys, and they'll pay for it. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yeah,
It's a win-win.
See, Stephen,
It
though,
prints money.
the thing is, Stephen, it would that would go along with one of my subject in the title of us being a hate group. You know, I mean, if other people do it, you know, it's fine. It's just a fetish. But if we had our fine ladies like Rosetta and Lorena and Jane Theory, Tugs, Steph, you know, they'd be like, oh, look at these toxic women. They're internalized misogyny.
Look, Mara Jade.
You know.
Mara Jade would be perfect for it. You know that. Shellback, we're old school KOTOR.
Really brought me into the community was sitting on Twitter with Mara Jade smacking these SJWs.
Oh, God.
Me and her would go like 200 comments deep, and all of a sudden they'd all just suddenly disappear or block us.
Yeah. The only thing is, the only thing is, would she actually like be in leather or the Australian flag bikini? That's
that. Well, man, it doesn't matter what she could be wearing a paper bag, and those
why not a
just
leather
die.
Australian bikini?
There you go.
Hamara's a hot tamale, man. She would talk those simps. She would naturally know how to treat her simps.
Yeah. Even the Rose Tico potato sack uniform.
Even the Rose Tico potato sack uniform.
Bittersweet irony there.
Man, yeah. I mean, that's another thing. You know what? A lot of the Ichibaka has a ton of information. If y'all ever go check out his channel, man, he does documentaries on these people, just calling out all the hypocrisies in SJW culture. I just watched this one video he did about the diversity director Disney just hired. I think that's the title. I may be wrong. But he's got a good 35-minute video on it about this woman showing her, her different speeches and presentations. And, she's a bigot. She's cloaked in all those gobbledygook fucking, liberalism words. But she's just a bigot, it's a sexist, just another racist. And, she's standing up in front of a crowd and just going on interviews and talking to Variety and all these different people. And now this woman is hired at Disney and bringing things on like the Gina Davis Institute, which, what the hell is that? A bot to figure out the algorithm of how many black people and minorities and people of whatever that you have in your movies? Are you kidding me? Like, how far does this go?
Yeah, it's all sexism and racism unless it's against white men, and then all of a sudden it's like, that's accepted racism. It's accepted sexism.
Well, they think they're balancing the scales, and instead of appreciating the fact that it took a lot of European-based culture, Western culture, to get us from where it was okay to own people to where we were killing each other by the hundreds of thousands to stop that shit, to where we are today, to the civil rights movements, to all of these people that have had opportunities in marginalized communities to speak for themselves. It has not been a perfect road. It has not been, perfection getting here. We still have a little work to do, in my opinion. But it's not as bad as these people say it is. And without that, I hate using the term white, but without that white culture, white Western culture, to get us to this point, where would we be? You kiss your, who knows where we would be?
I've actually had people say that.
I have to leave really quickly here. Let's say something that'll really offend these SJWs, because what's going to stop the places where there really are still oppression still? Let's deal with the fact that the federal government has so many freaking regulations on the reservations that people don't have most of their constitutional rights on the reservation land. And let's strip that away and start helping them get guns.
Man, all right. Well, I'm not a native. I can't speak on the reservations, but I can state that we have not honored, as the United States government, we have not honored a single treaty with any of the native nations.
I can tell you stories, the stuff I dealt with growing up, going to Pine Ridge all the time, that you would. Oh God.
Well, and I'm happy to. Weren't the Sioux in trying to get into the UN, or were they invited to the UN at one point in the last 10 years? The Sioux Nation.
I don't know, because most of the people I haven't been able to keep track of. I hate the UN so much I try not to even look at them. Most of the people I know in the tribe hate them, but it wouldn't surprise me if the leaders of the tribe tried to. So it's also, you got to realize there's when you say Sioux Nation, there's 3 large tribes that all have a whole bunch of small tribes under them. So because you have the Lakota, Dakota, and all of those have sub tribes under them. So it's like they
My
blame
phone's acting up.
Sioux
My
for,
phone's acting up. I will be back.
yeah. Like they blame Sioux for this little thing that happened with one Sioux tribe over here.
Yeah. Well,
And they blame
Lakota's like the biggest one, right? Isn't Lakota the biggest one?
It is currently, yes. My technically the tribe that I'm registered to through Pine Ridge is Oglala Lakota.
Yeah. Which, talking about this stuff, I love genealogy, right? I love genealogy, and I've been wanting to do that Ancestry.com.
There is no point to do those genetic tests if you're interested in anything about native tribes, as no native tribe has submitted to let the genetics be studied by these companies. They are lying when they give genetic tests.
Right.
Native.
They're all different too, aren't they? Like if you get your genetic tested by 2 different companies or 3 different, I heard you get different results.
Same people, they've had the same family, twins, go to the same company and get completely different results, and yet they're still saying they're 99% accurate.
Yeah, right. Statistically, that can't be.
There's a problem there. So, but I do have to get. I'm supposed to be moderating for a stream and on a stream that starts in about 3 minutes. So, take care, guys.
Bye, Rosetta.
Bye.
But yeah, no, I mean, I mean, it's probably been so long that I may not even have any of those genes left in me, you know.
Might have been gened out.
There is supposedly was a Cherokee in the woodpile once upon a time. So, but yeah, no, I'd love to. I'd still like to do it. You know, the Ancestry.com and like the 23andMe things. You know, just to see what they'd say.
It worries me that they own your DNA though. After that,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, that's the well, I don't know about them owning the DNA, but I mean I guess if you do the DNA part of it, but you know, you can also just do the you know, just where they trace your genealogy. So I mean, you like your history. You know, they trace your history for you.
But what do you give them for that? You still have to give them your DNA sample, don't you? How would they know?
That's just for the.
You needed to swab.
That's just for the. That's just if you want to know that particular part. I mean that's new. They've had like the tracing the history part.
Oh yeah.
You know, since they started. The DNA stuff is newer. You know?
Okay.
But I guess we lost. I guess we lost Sam, but
he said I'll return it a little bit.
Yeah.
Private chat there.
Well, we'll pull AFK back in for at least a little bit because I like the look of the of the screen better.
Well, you can change
when there's like 4 more.
Yeah, you can change that.
Yeah, I know. It's there's that, and then
I'm happy to balance it out for you.
This and
there you go,
and that and that and yeah, but anywho,
yeah, you guys are talking about some pretty interesting stuff.
Well, as far as like the Fandom Menace goes, what got me into it is Young Rippa 59, and then because of the Captain Marvel stuff going on, and then that led into everybody else. So I don't know if the book covers any of the Captain Marvel stuff or how far forward it goes, because I know he's doing multiple volumes.
Yeah. I don't think this one gets into Captain Marvel. I don't think. I think that's going to be in a later.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure not, because I don't think this goes that far up.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what was it? According to my watch history or whatever, I started watching Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers, and like, what was it? 2018, like the June or something, like summer of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
And because I was like, I was just like looking for, anything about Star Wars. I was just any type of videos with Star Wars, and then I and I found like things like fan films and this and that and the other thing, and then here's it like this one channel called Geeks and Gamers, and I'm like, all right, let's see what that and I can't remember what the title was or whatever, and like right now I'm too lazy to go look, but it's just I watched the video, I'm like, okay, yeah, and then he'd do like live streams and stuff, and just the attitude or whatever, just like and so yeah, I mean he's like my introduction, I guess, into the into TFM, and he actually had a I don't know whether he said it, whether I heard him say it on a video first or if it was a live stream, but he was basically like, I was worried about people's opinions and this, that, and the other thing, and so like I wasn't saying like what I really wanted to say and all this stuff, and then he's like, but then when I decided to just go out there all full bore, and so, and then he's like, so it's like, don't he's like, if you want to like start a channel or start making content or whatever, do it. Don't let somebody's opinion or whatever deter you from it. And so I was like, and which I wanted to, I like pop culture and entertainment stuff and all, but like I kind of got on with the intent of like talking about veterans issues and stuff, and like particularly like homeless veterans, because at the time I was homeless, and when I first started messing around with YouTube, I was living in a transitional housing facility for homeless veterans, and I was like, I wanted to shed some light on that, and I made a few videos, and they didn't really get much traction, and which I guess a lot of people that come onto YouTube, they probably don't want to be depressed by stories like that, but so I kind of kind of like let that go, and tried to do more stuff like, little short movie reviews, or, talking about things like when John Campia, called us all basement dwelling whatevers, and I've I made like a little, which I don't know how many views that it has gotten, but I mean it hasn't like set the internet on fire by any means, but yeah, I picked up I don't think I don't know if I had my computer at the time or not, but anyway, I picked up, and aimed the camera out the window of my room, which is like the building that I was living in is like literally up on a hill, like overlooking the inlet, the sound or whatever. So I mean, it's like, waterfront property basically, and I'm like, not a basement. But
Nice view of the ocean.
yeah, but yeah, it's, and like my most popular video by far, like is I went to the public library one time and was looking for like Star Wars books and stuff, and found this one. It was like, yay big by, it was a good sized book, and it was Angry Birds, but it was Angry Birds Star Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So so I checked it out, and I took it home, and I'm just like sitting there. I didn't read it per se, but I was just like looking at it. I had the phone aimed down at the book and just flipping through the pages, making comments, and it's got like, I don't know, 4,000 some odd views right now.
Wow.
And it was just a just a BS type of thing, right? And I've got like all those views, but I make a video that's kind of like near and dear to my heart, like the homeless veterans thing, and then less than 40 people I think have seen it, to this day.
Yeah.
But so it's
I guess it's a trick. You got to just put out. I mean, mostly because I found that too with some of my stuff, the stuff that I feel like, oh, this video is good because I'm more passionate about it, and it's like it doesn't get anything, and then I do a video on something that's like it's an article, I needed a story that's a good one to do, and it gets more views than or some of the most. I think one video it is the most views I had, and I was kind of surprised because I thought, it's not nothing, it's not anything that's that big or important, but yet you just never know what's going to hit with people and what trends, and sometimes it's just if you put Angry Birds in the title, there you go. It's got a lot of, because Angry Birds is popular, so it's a weird game trying to figure out.
Back in 2007, I uploaded a fan trailer that I made when I was going to school, Boondock Saints, and that has like tons of views, but I can't you can't monetize it because of it being copyrighted.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever.
Right.
Now speaking of copyright stuff, right? Like I've got stuff that, I don't know, there's like three or four videos maybe that I have that have been claimed, it's not a strike, just a claim.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like, why? I mean, it's like, and I think actually I think there was one that like had a claim on it. But the last time I looked, it didn't, it wasn't claimed, but another couple of them were, like, I don't know whether they just changed their mind and I was never informed about it or what.
I know I was claimed for streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake for the music, and under their terms of service, it's okay as long as it's within the confines of you playing the game. And I disputed them, and all of them except the first group that claimed it has released it. So that's like
right now, like one of the ones I think that might have been claimed, but has yet but is now not or whatever, was like I made a video for May the 4th, I think it was last year, and part of the footage of the video is me doing it boomer style, aiming my phone here at the laptop while I'm playing the scene in the first Star Wars, where they get their medals, anyway, but now what it is like I a couple of them that I noticed that have claims on it now are, I went out, I can't even remember what I originally went to Walmart for, but I was in Walmart, and on one of the little stands that they put up by the cashiers, had a calendar, a Star Wars calendar, that the little kind, they're like yay big, and you each day you peel off the day, for the next day. And they had a picture from like one of the movies, and like a little blurb, talking about it. And so I'd read the little blurb and maybe talk about it for a minute, and then that was it. I think the longest one I made was like 7 or 8 minutes. But to dress it up a little bit, right? I took a picture of the cover, whatever, that has like Star Wars on it, and 2020 calendar or whatever, and I put Duel of the Fates over it, and we lost Final. Was okay. Well, oh no, there he is. He's back.
Dropped out real quick there.
Yeah, but anyway, I put the Duel of the Fates on there as like an intro along with that image, right? And I don't know if that's why it got claimed or what, but the thing is, it's not that long. It's like it's within that supposed time limit that you have. Because it's like the and then it's done, right? So I mean, it's like 20 seconds or maybe ish. I don't know. And that it's supposed to be all right. I mean, from what I know. And then because like I don't see how they could claim me for because I didn't have a have a thumbnail, I don't think. So it would just be like an image of whatever day the calendar was. And I'm like, I don't think they could claim me for that,
Yeah. Usually when they claim you, they mention what they're claiming you for.
And I don't recall seeing an explanation on the YouTube Studio page. but I
Or
don't know.
they'll do like a timestamp of
Maybe I just wasn't.
minutes.
Yeah,
The issue is
maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough when I just happened to notice that it said claim. But the only other thing besides the Duel of the Fates music is I did the thing with the Emperor from Star Wars Celebration, where they, some of the people, I guess, that weren't supposed to be filming, filmed anyway and put it on YouTube anyway. But it was them advertising for episode 9, I think, and it's at the end of the what they showed, where the emperor starts laughing.
Yeah. When he came out,
and then it's like the dun 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 dun,
right. Yeah.
So that's I was putting that on as the outro for those videos. But the thing is, not all of them have been claimed. Only a couple of them.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, I can't figure this thing out. But
strange.
They seem picky. They seem very selective as to what they want to copyright and what they don't. And yeah, because
right.
I mean, what
they need to work on stopping people from false flagging.
Well, that
They need to put it up. They need to have the same kind of restrictions that we have, and stuff in place that we have. That they should also have the same problems as well.
Well, my deal is, to me it seems like anything should be like fair use. Like if I mean, they've got freaking apps. They have an app where you can literally go on somebody's channel and basically download that video and chop it up, to play like little bits and pieces or whatever, if you want, right? But yet, it's like, that's copywritten, or this, that, I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's, especially if you're not purposely, if you're purposely, not trying to slander somebody or whatever, if you're just making commentary or whatnot, to me, I don't know, it's it should be fine, and as far as like music and imagery goes, still images is crazy. To me,
it's weird.
To me, it's like, why would we be getting claimed for that? Because to me, it's like we're advertising for free.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're advertising their stuff for free.
Right.
Yeah. So like, why have it be claimed? It's like, but I've had people say, well, it's because if you're monetized, then
money off of
they don't want, they want the money. They don't want you having the money, and it's like.
But I mean, I think it depends if you are really making money off of it, or if you're using it as commentary or editorial, because then it's like no one's going to enjoy it if you're pausing it and talking over it and you don't have all the. I mean, who's paying for that?
Right.
They're not. I think it depends on how. If I were to just stream, Empire Strikes Back on my channel, okay, I could see how that would be, and I was monetized.
Right.
I could see how that would be taken down. But if I was going to play some of it and then stop, be like, okay, let's break down the scene. I don't see how that's, I mean,
Yeah.
It should be labeled as fair use at that point.
it should be fair use. Yeah. Yeah. If you're
Wait.
pausing it and talking about it, making commentary on it, I agree.
I forget what I was going to say, but you reminded me of something else. I was talking to our lovely Miss AFK Bard one time, and about this little movie from the '80s called The Wraith. And she's like, never seen it, and I'm like, hey, would you like to do a watch party? And she's like, yeah, sure. So, she came onto my channel, and I was trying to figure out how to, put it up on the screen, and I'm a little bit more well versed now, but still, a little bit computer illiterate. But anyway, I still managed to have it up on the screen, where people could see it, right? And the reason I did this, in which I know most people don't. A lot of people, or most people, just are like talking about it, and then everybody else has either has like a link or like a physical copy or something where they can watch along as people are making commentary. And I know that's the norm.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Wraith, you can find the Wraith on YouTube for free. Okay, you can watch it for free on YouTube. So I was like, okay, what's the difference on somebody? What's the difference in somebody watching the Wraith on my channel versus looking up free movies on YouTube and finding it that way?
I mean, I guess the studio would have to give authorization for them to be able to.
But it got yanked from my channel. You can't even see it on my channel anymore.
Oh wow.
Wow.
So it's some of this YouTube stuff I just don't understand, but
yeah, it seems to be, and especially now with the whole Dirty Dog thing, that really seemed to shine light on this whole, what's considered fair use, what's not. I mean, people were getting taken down for just talking about something or showing an image. It's like, how do you qualify what's
right
and what's not?
Which that actually makes me think of another little aspect here, and knock on wood, the freaking powers that be, don't oppress me, big brother. Okay, for saying this, but the whole bots, the bot thing or whatever, and it's like, somebody's stream or whatever gets taken down, and they're like, oh, it's a glitch with the bots, and blame the bots, because we're all at home staying safe from the beer bug,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, and this is something like that I have not understood. Okay, we're on a social media platform on the internet. Okay, if there is any place or any company that somebody could work from home, it would be a platform or website such as YouTube. So this, we can't manually monitor or, whatever, a real human being can't be there because of the beer bug thing.
Which is weird, because they
like
should be able to remotely do it. Yeah, they should be able to remotely link in and do it from home. Sorry.
Yeah. We lost Final again. But if he pops back in, I'll just pop him back on. Well, we've been. I didn't know how much we'd be talking. I mean, I was. If things got a little slow, I was prepared to just like cut it at like an hour. Which we're going on an hour and 20. But excuse me. Speaking of Corona. Anyway. But we're going on an hour and 20. We might just wrap it up here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I don't know, just a little bit of a recap. I mean, what you got any other thoughts on anything we've been talking about,
Just that I don't see how people can like take us as like a hate group, like when everybody in the community has been nothing but supportive of each other and very caring and and all that. A hate group wouldn't be doing that. They would be outing different people and
right.
back, all that other stuff. So I don't know.
Well, the thing that irritates me is, when I think hate group, I think of the Klan,
Oh yeah.
neo-Nazis, the Mr. Adolf in the Third Reich, and people across the pond like Al Qaeda and ISIS and stuff like that. I mean, that's to me, especially being somebody who was in the military, that's what I think of when somebody says those words. Not a not a group that has formed behind a hashtag on the internet, that happened to think that the new Star Wars movies and other stuff is crap. It's like if I honestly think that these people that say this have absolutely no real idea of what an actual hate group is, or any type of hardship, dealings, like that. It's like really. But it's you want to see a hate group, go to XYZ country in the Middle East and watch them throw a couple of dudes off of a 3-story roof because somebody said they saw them together. Yeah. I mean that and you can find videos like that easily on the internet. I saw one. They seriously, it was like a 3-story building, flat roof building, and they put a couple of bags, or they put a bag over each guy's head, then shove them, head first to the ground.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Because they were engaged in homosexual type activities.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's you want to bitch at us about having certain opinions about certain movies and entertainment, or be pissed off what you think is one of the leaders who happens to like our current president, and you got a big fat case of TDS,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
and think that America is in the toilet, or that we're a crappy country because some of us like who's in the White House or whatever. Hop on a plane, go to this country, that country, or the other country, with your
Live there for a while and
with your liberal ideology, and
Yeah.
see if
Good.
you make it back.
Look at
Okay.
that.
See if you make it back. Anyway, any last thoughts, final, on anything we've talked about?
I mean, I'm looking forward to finishing this. So I'd say if you don't have a copy of this, get the Fandom Menace Volume 1. Make sure you get that. Yes, because it's really good. It really details and chronicles, all the stuff we're talking about at the beginning of how this kind of started to infect and infiltrate Hollywood. So it's a really good chronicle of that. And this is just Volume 1, as it says there. So there is more to come. At least think, he's planning on 5 volumes. So this is just the beginning part of it, and it's an easy read too. It's not, it's well written, but it's the font is nice and big, so it's easy to read.
Right.
The cover looks great, done by Nick. It did a great job on the cover, and Nick Nugent. And then the forward is done by Ruin the Man Baby, which I thought was fantastic. He does a really good forward, and also Nick also writes a little kind of intro. Nick Nugent, who designed the cover of this, so. Yeah, definitely looking forward to finishing that. And I think of all days, for CBR to troll someone with this freaking Captain America on Memorial Day, they decide to, oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, that's right. You got in there.
Nice.
And that's one thing, too, is...
yeah, there we go. Our name's in print, Shell. We're
right, official. Yeah. There is a fine list. Okay, look at this. Almost 2 full pages. Almost 2 full pages of YouTube channel people.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you haven't subscribed to any, or if you're just kind of finding out about the Fandom Menace and you want to know, hey, who should I subscribe to? There's a good list on this book.
Yeah.
It's like the first 2 pages of the people that he thanks and inspired him. And Shell, you and I are in that list, so we're proud to be there. But yeah, and then the whole freaking CBR article, I don't know, what a day for him. You choose Memorial Day of all days to take down a symbol of America, not just American culture, but our military. Yeah, it's just such a freaking, it's disgusting to do this.
Well, they I think they ganked it too, because
that's still up there. I just looked it up.
I noticed. Well,
it's on the front page, but
because I retweeted it. And I made a comment on the retweet. But like it's just the link. You can only see the link. You can't see the picture until you click on it. But like Jeremy Griggs, the man himself, put up a tweet about how they took it down, and
it's still
So it's like regardless of whether because I mean, like I said, I after I saw that tweet, I went to my tweet and like I said, you can't see the picture.
yeah.
But the link is still there, and the link still takes me to that tweet or whatever.
Yeah,
But still, it's like they basically they poked the bear and then ran off, and it's like, I mean, granted, I guess, kudos on them for getting the attention in the first place.
yeah.
But it's like, there's taste, and then there's tasteless. Okay.
Yeah.
And what they did was tasteless.
Yeah.
But anyway, my throat's getting scratchy. Apparently I've been talking too much. But anyway, yeah, no fancy intros or outros right now, because I'm not high speed enough for that currently. But I mean, I'm just proud of myself that I managed to get the thumbnail put up.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll go back. I'll go back in the comments later on, and I'll throw up everybody's link to their channel and stuff.
All right.
But if you two gentlemen that are still remaining want to plug anything, please go ahead.
I think I'm good. It's just good to be on the stream with the final.
Yeah, you too, Andrew.
Really in the chat.
Yeah.
And then same with you as well, Shell. But yeah.
Yeah, Angela says nice to stream with you after you've been so you're always there in our show, so nice to be able to talk to you. And yeah, I mean, I'd say catch our live streams that I do with the author of this book, Stephen Walton. It's TR4 plus final on Tuesdays, because I've infiltrated that show and just attached myself to it. So that's on Stephen Walton's channel on Tuesdays at Pacific time, because that's where I'm at. So I'll do Pacific time. It's at 3:30 on Tuesday on Stephen Walton's channel. And then on Saturday we have our show as well, Rogue Entertainment, which is also TR is Rogue Entertainment, the Rogue Entertainment. So we do our show on 4 o'clock on Saturday, also on Stephen Walton's channel, unless it rotates. But you can follow us on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Final Death Star 1, and then on Instagram Final Death Star. So follow me there. And then I'm also on with Bear Nerd Fund. We have our Four Horsemen show, which we do Saturday nights, usually 7:30 Bear time. Bear time is 7 o'clock, and then we start at 8 usually. That's Bear Nerd Fund's time, because we always end up talking too long before we go live. So, but that's on Saturdays on his channel too. So yeah.
Now, do you still have the fourth wave show, or did that morph into the other thing?
That kind of morphed. So we kind of decided the fourth wave is more so the community. So our TR, the Rogue Entertainment's kind of like fourth wave presents Rogue Entertainment. That's kind of what we morphed into. So we have the show with Sporking News Podcast, who was on our fourth wave, and then we've added Lorena Creel and Jane Theory, and then myself and Steven. And that's kind of our new Rogue Entertainment group. So that's what we do the show as on Tuesdays and Saturdays. But then we have the fourth wave chat on Twitter that we have our community base. So that's kind of more or less the overall umbrella, I guess. So everyone that streams through there is still kind of fourth wave, because fourth wave is just the name of the movement. It was like the first wave was Jeremy, John Talks, Ethan Van Sciver, Jeff, all those guys. And then second wave, third wave, like Mary Mayhem came along, and that Star Wars, although I think Anna's more first wave, but either way,
Yeah.
we're the fourth wave kind of movement of this
Right.
fandom.
Well,
So.
in my humble opinion, I think we're all like first wave. I mean, it's like I think it's just that the whole what you're talking about. I think is just more along the lines of who got noticed first. And whatnot.
Technicalities, semantics.
It's like because
I was watching all these guys at the very beginning. I just had to start my channel, for a couple months into it, but yeah.
But
I mean, it's all one. We're all one.
Yeah.
We're all hashtag the Fandom Menace. Well, not everyone, but most of us are. So
right, yeah.
And you'll be the Fandom Collective. You don't all have to be hashtag Fandom Menace, but it's it's more or less this movement of pushback against the social kind of engineering that's invading politics, which is all outlined in the book here.
It's okay to be curious, though. It's okay to be curious.
Yeah, come join us. The water. We all, we all get along. Even when we don't get along, we all get along.
Right. Yeah.
We're not out to cancel each other and at each other's throats.
Oh no! I mean, dude, when the Mandalorian was on, playing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had some, kind of heated conversations with a couple of our, fellow, fandom ministers, or, and so I mean, it's it's fine. I don't hate them. I still talk to them if I see them. And all that's I don't know.
Even within our own group, I was a fan of the Mandalorian. I liked it. I thought it was a good step in the right direction. Season 1, and I have issues with Baby Yoda as far as what it means to Star Wars and where they're going with it. But I was intrigued enough to be like, I kind of like the idea. I'll give it a shot. Let's see what they do. Especially because George was behind it. We know George was okay with it. He was it. But Scotty hates.
Yeah.
So we would have our arguments, and then I like the Clone Wars a lot, and I'm a Filoni fan. But I know like a lot of the guys, Ryan and Lethal, they're very anti. They're
right.
The EU, which I also like the EU because I grew up with the EU, so I respect that too. But we have our arguments. Chris Knight is he's a Last Jedi supporter, and we're a group that a lot of it was started with the backlash of Last Jedi, but yet we can find common ground. We agree, because he's respectful of it. There's ways around it. It doesn't. You don't always have to go this toxic, CW route. So that's a glowing endorsement for the Fandom Menace hashtag community.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I appreciate everybody that accepted the invite for the panel, and thank you to anybody and everybody that showed up in the chat. I haven't been on, I haven't done this a whole lot, but maybe that'll change in the future. But anyway, thank you to the panel, thank you to the chat, and we will. It'll be on Twitter for whoever has the next session of Parliament. Peace out, everybody. Fair winds and following seas.
I guess.
And button.